Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at, the post-March Madness mock draft is a way to look at it. Of course, the Final Four has not been played yet, but as you will see later on throughout the video once we get over to Fanspo, there have been some big-time risers in this year's March Madness. Also, a couple of guys that a couple of red flags were raised about. Of course, Victor Webenyama will still be the #1 overall pick. It's just a matter of who he goes to. So we're going to be looking at the 2023 NBA draft, giving you a little mock draft today, and it starts with the Detroit Pistons selecting #1 overall. And Victor Webenyama, no shock here, the greatest prospect of our generation, potentially. The debate's still out there. Was he a better prospect than LeBron? Victor Webenyama is 7'5" and can legitimately do everything that a guard in the NBA can do. Also, he can really defend. Of course, he's 7'5". He just reaches his arm up and can touch the square on the backboard. I mean, it's not from this world what he can do. I would love him to go to a Detroit or a Charlotte. Obviously, I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan, so I'd love to have him. But those are two teams with already established past first point guards in Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball. I feel like those would be great fits for Webenyama. We'll see how the lottery unfolds. But yeah, Victor Webenyama, #1 to the Detroit Pistons in this draft. Now, to the Houston Rockets in the with the second pick of the draft, and they're getting Scoot Henderson, a guy that will come in and instantly take them to the next level. He is by far, without a doubt, the second best player in this class. If there wasn't a 7'5" Martian in front of him, he'd be the #1 overall guy. Is he a franchise point guard? I believe so. He can be a combo guard. He can play either guard spot. He can defend well. He's built like an NFL linebacker, so that is definitely a plus when he gets going downhill. He's going to be an absolute monster for whatever team gets the luxury of drafting him. And in this case, it's going to be the Houston Rockets. They'll slide Jalen Green down to the 2 where he already plays and probably put Kevin Porter Jr. coming off the bench or something like that. Now at #3, we have the San Antonio Spurs, who are going to go out. A lot of people have Brandon Miller mocked here, but I think this is still Amen Thompson. Insane length, insane athleticism for a point guard. The way he can defend, the way he can rise up over people, two-hand tomahawk jam. It's not common among even NBA players, and I think he's the perfect franchise point guard. He can score enough. He can get at the rim when he needs. He can really defend. He's a great passer. Probably one of the best passers in this draft class, if not the best. And he's going to be one of those guys that it's going to be a nightmare to try and score on him every single night. An elite perimeter defender. Now with the #4 overall pick, we have my Charlotte Hornets taking Brandon Miller. Now there's been a lot of jokes about him. Apparently, with the shooting and stuff, I mean, second best shooter in the class, apart from Grady Dick. But, after his performance against San Diego State, it has been concluded he was not the shooter in whatever case they are trying to do. 3 for 19. Abysmal. Pure score, though. Really like what I see out of Brandon Miller, apart from the NCAA tournament. He was one of those guys that some red flags were raised about, but March Madness and the NBA game are completely different things. He will be getting a whole lot more open looks, a completely wide open lane to drive into. So that's why I'm still very confident, very high on Brandon Miller with the 4th overall pick. Now at #5, we have the Orlando Magic, and this is going to be the Azor Thompson pick, where he goes to Orlando. They needed 2 in a bad way. He's more of a 2 guard with the same length as his brother, but he can score it around the rim, and he can also do it from downtown. Azor Thompson, that's why I really like him here. Great athlete, great shot maker, so he's going to be somebody that can go into Orlando. Really the only spot on their roster that they don't have a good young piece at is the shooting guard position. I have him getting 2 here in this draft, so make sure you stick around until later for that pick. But yeah, that's who I've got going #5. Now let's transition over to Fanspo for the #6 overall pick. So here with the 6th overall pick, we have the Washington Wizards, and we're talking about guys that have really flown up the board this year in March Madness. One of those guys is Cason Wallace, who's all the way up to my #8 overall player. Jordan Hawkins is a guy all the way up to my #11 overall player. Taylor Hendricks declared. Tariq Whitehead declared today. Hood-Schifino really made a move towards the end of the season. Isaiah Wong, video on him coming soon. Naquan Tomlin and Jordan Miller, all guys that flew up my board this year in March Madness. With that being said, now with the 6th overall pick, we have the Washington Wizards, and I'm going to have them go out and get Kason Wallace, a guy that can be their starting point guard of the future. At 6'3", elite defender, 12 points per game, 4.3 assists as well on good efficiency. I think he's going to be a very, very good NBA player for a long time, so he is going to the Washington Wizards with the 6th overall pick. Now at number 7, we have the Portland Trailblazers, who are going to go out and get another big man. Jeremy Grant could be on the way out, as could Jusuf Nurkic. So they're going to go grab the best big available, and that is going to be Jarace Walker, the 6'7" freshman out of Houston. Although I feel like he's a little taller than 6'7". He's going to be able to come in and immediately play the 2 or the 3, the 4, or the 5. We'll see what they do with Dame Lillard in the offseason. They definitely could be having a couple more first-round picks if they do decide to trade Lillard. And then the 32nd pick or the 23rd pick from New York, will also be theirs at the end of the first round. So here we're going to have them go Jarace Walker to potentially replace Jeremy Grant in the future and be a very, very good piece for that young core, because they do quietly have a nice young core. Now at 8, we have the Indiana Pacers, and I'm going to have them go out and get the best player available. They have 2 more first-round picks at the end of the draft, and then a very, very early second, as well as a later second, and then you look at the team here. They probably could have used a guy like Jarace Walker, but they're going to go out and get the best wing available. Got Tyrese, he's the point guard of the future without a doubt. Andrew Nembhard going to be a great backup for him for years to come. Then you got Buddy Hield and where is he? Benedict Mathurin at the 2. Chris Duarte could play some 3. We'll see. Aaron Nesmith as well, but I'm going to have him go out and get Cam Whitmore to be just another really athletic wing at 6'7", 232 pounds. Some of the shots that he makes are just off the charts. So him going to the Pacers at 8 is going to be something to watch for, because if they get another really good, high-flying, can shoot it wing, that'd be nice. And Cam Whitmore, I have him as my number 6 ranked player. He's going here at 8, very physical guy. To the Indiana Pacers at 8, we have Cam Whitmore. Now, at the 9th overall pick, we have the Orlando Magic, and a lot of people have been commenting on my videos here as of late. There is no way that Grady Dick gets past the Magic at 9, and honestly, I can see that. They definitely could use that absolute sniper, and Dick at 6'7", 6'8", and man, does he have a fluid stroke. They don't really have a shooting guard for the future. They go out and they get Azor Thompson. Now they're going to get Grady Dick, who can fit right into that rotation, 14 and 5 a game on 44% efficiency. He's going to be a great add for that Orlando Magic team. I think he's going to be an immediate contributor. Now, with the 10th overall pick, we have the Toronto Raptors up on the board, and this one just kind of seems like a Toronto pick, in my opinion. Now, we're going to be moving Scotty Barnes to the 1. Fred VanVleet is going to walk. Going to be re-signing Gary Trent Jr. in this hypothetical situation. Then you got OG, Pascal Siakam, Jakob Poeltl, Precious Achiuwa, Koloko, and then some other guys here on the wing, Otto Porter Jr. if he does come back. So looking at the pick here, and then also Delano Banton, looking at this pick here, they're going to go out and get a 6'8", 250-pound wing, or 215-pound wing from Michigan, who averaged about 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Not the best efficiency in the world, but a guy that can score at 6'8" is something that the Raptors typically really like. So he's going to come in. He's going to fit in on the wing, going to give him some much-needed wing depth behind Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby. So that's what the 10th overall pick is going to be spent on for the Toronto Raptors. Now, with the 11th overall pick, we have the Utah Jazz, and I'm going to have him go best player available here, and it's going to be Keontae George. Even though he did, kind of like Brandon Miller, have a bad last few games of March, he's still a very good player. 15.5 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.8 assists, only 38% efficiency, which is the part that concerns me. But the Jazz, they need a guy that can go get a bucket on the wing. Keontae George is going to be just that at 6'4", 220 pounds. Really, really nice shooting stroke. Can get to the rim as well. He's going to be a foundational piece for this Jazz team. Now, at 12, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. And what do they need? I think some depth on the wing. And with the Thunder potentially being a play-in, playoff threat next year, I think they're going to go best player on the board right here. Not really pick based off potential, although he does have some. And that's going to be Jordan Hawkins out of UConn, a guy that has flown up the draft board. He is only 20 years old. He's still a sophomore. 6'5", 195, can shoot the cover off the ball. 16 points per game, 4 rebounds. Not the most efficient, but this is a guy that is going to challenge Brandon Miller when it comes to being the second best shooter in this draft class, only behind Grady Dick. And he's going to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder and right away play a big part, kind of in the Isaiah Joe role, if you will. Now, Bryce Sensabaugh being on the board here, Taylor Hendricks, both could be the pick, Maxwell Lewis as well, but in this mock, I'm going to have him go with Jordan Hawkins. Now, with the 13th overall pick, we have the New Orleans Pelicans picking with the Lakers pick, and I'm going to have them go best wing available here, and that's going to be Bryce Sensabaugh. Dariq Whitehead is interesting here, as well as Maxwell Lewis, but I'm going to have him go with Bryce Sensabaugh here. The better scorer overall. I like Bryce Sensabaugh a lot. 16.5 a game, 5.5 rebounds, 48% from the field, 6'5", 235. He's a big dude, one and done, and he's going to be coming off the bench for that Pelican squad and giving them a boost off the bench. Now, with the final pick of the lottery here, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, and they need a wing as well. So I'm going to have them go out and get a win-now type guy. You know, maybe they need a big, but they have Hachimura, Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, and Mo Bamba. I like their wing rotation. Also have LeBron, who can play the point guard or the small forward spot. At the one, they have, like we said, LeBron, D'Angelo Russell, Dennis Schroeder, and then on the wings, they have Austin Reeves, Malik Beasley, Lonnie Walker. So it's clear what the need for this Lakers squad is, and that is wing help. They're going to go out and get a win-now type guy in Maxwell Lewis. Even though he didn't have a very good back half of the year, if his first half of the year and back half of the year were flipped, he'd be way, way higher in terms of draft talk. So I think he's going to be a little bit slept on now coming into this draft at 6'7", 185. But he averaged 17.6 rebounds, 3 assists, very good efficiency. And I think he's going to fit right in with LeBron and the Lakers. Now, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. That's going to be it for this mock draft. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Any picks you would have changed? If I'm the Thunder, I really like this Hawkins pick. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Maybe y'all don't like that pick, though. Jet Howard seems like a Raptors guy. Grady Dick to the Magic makes a lot of sense once you sit down and think about it. Keontae George being a building block for that Jazz team. Bryce Sensabaugh is going to be a microwave guy off the bench. Maxwell Lewis is going to be an instant impact for the Lakers as they try to make one more championship push next year with LeBron. And then we already talked about the top 5 guys here. They're set in stone. Kason Wallace, big riser in March. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.